How to eat the food that you love and still look like a pro athlete. How to eat the food that you love and still look like a Greek god. Like, hi, mom. All right, so I want to take you guys back to a few years ago because there was a time when I was terrified to take my shirt off. I actually posted about it today on Instagram, and I put it up on different socials. And I actually just posted about this today. Is that I remember a time when I was literally like terrified. I was in fear of I don't want to take my shirt off in public. I don't want people to see my body. I would see other guys that were shredded. I would see these guys that were ripped, and I would be like, dude, this dude is literally on a boat eating a hamburger, or this guy's, just, I see him like, smashing a pizza or something. Yet, they have abs, they're jacked, they're looking ripped. And anyways, I went on this quest to find the solution. And I mean, ultimately, as you guys know, a lot of the stuff I talk about is not just what to do, but what not to do. And for me, cutting out alcohol was huge. Cutting out sugar, those two things alone were massive. Cutting out processed meat, processed food, what was another one, right? Upping my protein, upping the fiber and the protein that I'm eating, and eating whole foods, like all these things. But ultimately, I grew up in small town Alberta, Canada. It's not the North Pole, but you can see it from there. That's what I always say. And, it's crazy because when it came to, what my mom would make growing up or the foods that I really fell in love with, it was meat and potatoes. I love meat and potatoes. I could eat steak. Like tonight, I've actually got steaks, cut and salted, sitting in the fridge, ready. They've been sitting since last night and they're ready to go on the barbecue probably in about 2 hours or so, right? And then I'll do some potatoes. I'll have a non-alcoholic beer with it, and I'll probably have maybe like some tomatoes, grilled plantain, throw some veggies on there, and then I'll do butter. I got fresh butter from a dairy farm. I'll throw some hot sauce on there. And on the steak, I usually do like some spicy mustard on the side. That's what I like to put on my steak. And this is food that I love. And I thought of this video the other day. I was thinking about like a concept of, how to eat the food that you love and still look like a pro athlete. How to eat the food that you love and still look like a Greek god. Like I'm thinking about this stuff all the time because I'm going, most people are so confused. I used to be so confused about food. I used to sit there and I used to go like, okay, if I just go 80% good, like if I eat good 80% of the time and I meal prep, right? I had this concept of meal prep in my head for so long where I was like, I gotta go Sunday night, I'm devoting to meal prep. So I gotta get all these containers and I gotta put my chicken and my black beans and my brown rice and my asparagus and my broccoli and boom, 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 right? And get sugar-free barbecue sauce and and then you're eating the same thing for 4 days, 5 days. I used to do that. I remember in my 20s doing that. And, I lost body fat and I definitely, got in decent shape. But for me, like that was not a sustainable way to go. And I remember, one of my recent clients, my one-on-one clients that I just, actually just finished, 3 months working with, and he made insane progress and he's really taking off. I'm going to be doing an interview with him one-on-one to actually talk about his journey and his experience. But he found a meal prep company that would just prep food. He can pick it online and they deliver it to the house every week. And that's what he did. But for me personally, when it comes to my day-to-day life, like I've been on this journey now and on this path for years now. And I remember in the beginning, like one of my main focuses was I decided I'm going to test food and I'm going to find foods that give me energy, build muscle, burn fat, help me sleep well. I've been getting insane sleep scores like in the 90s and hundreds. Um, and this was a season of my life where I didn't have to cook every meal for myself. I had a housekeeper or a roommate or there was a girl in the house cooking, right, which was cool at the time. But it also gave me it was hard because I didn't have control. I wasn't making the decisions on what ingredients go in the food and all that stuff. So, but I was kind of milking that, right? And I got to a point where I was like, I need to test my own foods, make my own food, buy my own food, prep my own food. And I kind of fell back in love with the kitchen. And I was talking to a guy yesterday who just joined our school group, the High Performance Brotherhood, and there'll be a link in the description below for you to jump in and join. It's growing every day. There's like dozens of guys have joined this week. It's amazing. But I was talking to one of the dudes, and he was saying, I've just had this, I've kind of had this block when it comes to cooking. I've had this block when it comes to like making food in the kitchen. And I said to him, like, dude, I used to have the same block because I grew up with four sisters. I grew up with a mom. I grew up in a house where dinner was always prepped for me. It was always made. There was always like fast, easy breakfasts. I never really got into like this, focus on eating a particular way. It was just kind of like eating to survive. I never looked at food as fuel. And so I think one of the main things that I want to say in this video is that you need to start looking at food as fuel. But then if you look at food as fuel and you kind of take all the foods and put them into, okay, well, what are foods that are going to be good fuel for me? And what are foods that aren't? Well, in my in my perfect grocery list, which now combined with the formula program and the training has now been, I'm calling it the lean lifestyle program. In the lean lifestyle program, the eating program, you have a list of foods, right? No deep fried foods, obviously, staying away from pastas, cereals, bread, staying away from, processed food, processed meat, sugar, alcohol, all these things. But then you have this list of, meat, fish, chicken, steak, do a lot of steak, do a lot of red meat, a lot of ground beef, do a lot of fruits, veggies, potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, all these things, garlic, I do a lot of olives, do a lot of in my fridge right now, it's like tons of eggs, tons of Greek yogurt, like, so what happened is I basically ended up finding a way to eat the food that I love every day. Like I love scrambled eggs with hot sauce. I love oatmeal with honey and fruit on it. I love Greek yogurt with honey and fruit. Like, you'll see some patterns here, of course. But I love like baked sweet potatoes. I love barbecued potatoes. I love barbecued chicken wings. I love steak. I love barbecued burgers. Like this is what I eat every day. I love cheese. I eat mozzarella cheese. I literally just went picked up a block of mozzarella cheese and a big thing of fresh butter, and I put butter on everything. I put butter in my coffee. I put cheese. I eat cheese and tomatoes or cheese and fruit for a snack almost every day. And it's like these are foods that I love. And so I guess the concept of what I'm trying to say is that you can eat the food you love and still look like a pro athlete, still look like a Greek god and have an amazing physique and have an amazing shredded body without sacrificing and deciding like, oh, I have to, I can't live this life that I love, or I can't eat the foods that I love, because that concept, that mentality will actually keep you away from the direction that you want to go. And like, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're going like, I want to get more lean, more shredded, have a better physique. I want to have more energy. I want to sleep better. I want to look better. I want to feel better, all these things. And also I want to live longer and create longevity and create a healthy lifestyle, right? And this is what so many guys now today are talking about and saying like, dude, I want to take off my shirt and be stoked to be that guy who's at the family barbecue, or I'm at the beach, or I'm on the boat, or I'm at the pool, or I'm outside on a hot day and I'm not terrified to take my shirt off. But when it comes to really optimizing your day-to-day activity or your day-to-day life, I'm gonna start doing more videos like this, just talking to you specifically, because I really believe that there is a formula. And there is a way to eat the food you love and still look the way you want and not feel like you're um, in this restrictive diet. Like I hate the word diet. I don't even like the word diet. I really prefer the lean lifestyle eating plan because I love the word lifestyle. Everybody wants to have a great lifestyle. Like when I first started building the formula program, it was actually going to be a travel program. I was actually going to make it a how to stay fit while traveling because at the time, for those years, I spent like 2 years traveling, living out of a suitcase. I had a suitcase, I had two suitcases and a backpack. And I hit a whole bunch of countries. I was traveling. I do like a month here, 6 weeks here, 3 months here. And I kept coming back to Panama as like my home base, but then I would shoot off again. And I basically, over that period of time, got leaner, stronger, in better shape. But all of that actually stemmed from like the main thing I think that stemmed from, if I really look back, was I dialed in my food and my eating. So even when you're on the road, like you can get chocolate protein bars, you can get Quest chips, you can literally get, beef sticks, beef jerky. Like I'm thinking if you're in an airport, like, I've bought Greek yogurt in airports with beef jerky and you can get pre-mixed protein shakes, these power shakes just sitting there, right? You go to a burger place, you got 50 restaurants at an airport. I always go to a burger place, I get a double or a triple burger, or something like that. Delicious. Like you can literally eat burgers and still look amazing and feel amazing. And the same thing goes with pizza. Like I love talking about this with my clients because I actually have here in town where I live, I have this really awesome pizza place. There's like 15 pizza places, okay? But shout out to my boy at Pomodoro because Pomodoro here in town, it's Italian sauce. The crust is literally olive oil, water, flour, right? Yeast, I think is all that's in that. And then the cheese and the chicken and the veggies, I get chicken and veggie, and that's all coming locally from local farms. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, if I broke down the ingredients of this pizza, this is all stuff that's actually good for me and it's healthy. And after I go train, so let's say I'll go do like a back day or a pull day or a leg day, or I'll go do a big 20K bike ride or a big hike or something like that, right? I usually call ahead and I say, hey, dude, can I get my regular pizza? And I sit down and, we're eating this pizza and I'm just going like, this is crazy that I could eat this. And the next morning wake up and my abs, and my body and my physique hasn't changed at all for the worse. It's actually gotten better because the carbs are good for me, the proteins, the fats, all the things in there are good for me. And I guess, I just want to get this information to whoever needs it. And I want to be able to start building more of I guess, just this concept and this culture, especially in the brotherhood. Like we've really started to talk more about food and nutrition because that is such a big element of our day-to-day life. Like we're eating 3 or 4 times a day, most of us. Some people eating more than that. So um, you know, these are all things that I wanted to touch on. But I guess the other thing is you've got to up your protein, right? You've got to make sure that you're upping your protein. I get on calls with guys, like I got on a call with a guy yesterday, and I was asking him about his protein. He's like, I've never tracked my protein. I don't know how much I eat. So I kind of broke down like, okay, well, what do you eat a day? So many guys are like skipping breakfast, eating some sandwich or some BS like wrap or something for lunch, and then they're eating whatever their wife or their girlfriend makes at dinner or their mom or whatever, and it's like, dude, how do you expect to look the way you want when you're not even focused on a high protein diet that's going to give you what you need? So these are just like basic principles, but these are things that will really change your life and can allow you to enjoy food. Because at the end of the day, it's like in Ecclesiastes, it says like the purpose, one of the purposes of life, King Solomon is talking about, it's eating, drinking, enjoying your work, right? And I don't drink anymore. I used to drink. I'm almost 2 years without a drop of alcohol. So for me, drinking is, drinking good coffee, drinking good tea, drinking, Baja Gold sea salt in my salt water in the morning, drinking fresh juice. I make watermelon juice all the time. I'm drinking raw milk from the dairy farm. Like, I'm actually consciously thinking about everything I drink and everything I eat and using it as fuel and thinking of it as fuel, but then also creating a system where everything that I'm putting in my body is actually bringing me to my goal of where I want to go, but I'm enjoying it at the same time. So I feel like I've hacked the system. And inside of the Brotherhood, the High Performance Brotherhood, which there will be again a link in the description below, or if you go to any of my profiles, you'll see a link in my profile in my bio for you to join. This has been a labor of love to put this together, but also it's a community of just incredible guys that are sharing information, creating accountability, helping each other, sharpening each other, inspiring each other, and there's so much value in there. And I'm excited because right now, when you jump in there and you see just the level of the entrepreneurs, the athletes, the business owners, the high level guys, a lot of guys are dads with families running businesses. It's amazing. And I'm excited about this community. So with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.